back to another fantastic video. Today we're going to be talking about other powers of Congress that have nothing to do with making laws. And we call these powers non-legislative powers. So legislative powers of Congress are those that deal with them making laws. Non-legislative powers of Congress are those that have nothing to do with making laws. So starting off with congressional investigations. A congressional investigation can be launched for any number of reasons. And the goal of a congressional investigation is to find more information about something. So it could be something like looking into how money was spent by the executive branch. It could be something like looking into the steroid use of Major League Baseball players. Like it could be anything that Congress thinks they need to investigate. Okay, so congressional investigations can be led by two different types of committees. They can be led by a standing committee or a select committee. And a standing committee is a committee that exists from one Congress to the next. So, like, we're always going to have a committee on Ways and Means in the House of Representatives. We're always going to have a Judiciary Committee in the Senate. Okay, so those are two examples you might want to jot down. And a select committee is a committee that pops up in response to a certain event or a certain crisis. Okay, so a select committee might just be temporary, like it might just be used for a couple of years, or it might become a permanent committee. And an example of a select committee would be the Committee on National Intelligence, okay, something that popped up in response to 9/11, okay? So these congressional investigations, they're not trials, but they kind of sound like a trial. They have things in them that you would also hear about in a trial. So, for example, congressional investigations can include a subpoena. And I know that's not how that word looks, but that's how it's pronounced. So, a subpoena, if you've been subpoenaed for something, that means you've been given an order to show up or an order to produce documents. And if you ignore a subpoena, then there's some sort of punishment for it. Okay. You also have the potential for perjury in a congressional investigation. So if you perjure yourself, that means that you lie under oath. So whenever you go into one of these congressional investigations, if you're called as a witness, then you have to take the oath. You have to go under oath. And if you lie, then that's perjury and you can get in trouble for that. And you can also be held in contempt in a congressional investigation. And if you're held in contempt, that means that you're somehow willfully obstructing the process. Okay. So, again, all three of those things kind of make investigations sound like a trial, but they're actually not. Another non-legislative power of Congress is their power of a legislative oversight. And if you have oversight over something, that means you're just like checking up on it, okay? So legislative oversight is the continuous review of the effectiveness of the executive branch. And this is one of those things that Congress does all the time. They're constantly checking on the executive branch to make sure that they're spending the money how they're supposed to be spending it, to make sure that its members are functioning or following the law. Always just checking up to make sure the executive branch is doing what it's supposed to be doing. Okay. And I'm going to stop there for today. If you guys have any questions, please let me know.